legs as well as he could to keep the distance from the space from closing up. But of course, he becomes exhausted at last and lay still and helpless, frozen, solid in the ice. The next morning, a pheasant who was passing by saw what had happened, and he was very nice to come and break all the ice up into pieces with his wooden shoes. Carried the duckling home to his wife, and the warmth revived the poor creature, and the children wanted to play with him. But the duckling thought they would do him some harm, so he started up in terror, fluttering around the room, flying around, trying to get away, so the milk spilled all over her room. The woman clapped her hands, which frightened him even more, so he flew into the butter cask and the meal tub and out again, and what a condition the house was in after he got done. The lady screaming at him, struck him out with the tongs, hitting him, and the children laughed and screamed and tumbled over each other in their efforts to catch him in the house. He luckily escaped. The door stood wide open. The poor creature just managed to slip out from among the bushes and to lie exhausted in the newly fallen snow. It would be very sad were I to relate all the misery and all the bullying this poor duckling has had to endure during this hard winter. But when it had passed, he found himself lying one morning in the moor among the rushes. He felt the warm sun beating down on him, shining. Then he heard a lark singing. Then he knew that spring had sprung. Beautiful bird singing. The young bird felt like his wings were strong, and he flapped them against his sides back and forth, rising into the air, and he flew onwards until he found himself in a large garden. All before he even knew how it happened. The apple trees and the cherry trees are full blossom, and the fragrant elders bent their long green branches down into the stream, which wound about a smooth lawn. Everything looked so beautiful, fresh from early spring. From the thicket close by came 3 beautiful white swans, rustling their feathers and swimming lightly over the smooth water. The duckling remembered the lovely birds and felt more strangely unhappy than ever. I will fly with those royal birds, and they will kill me because I am so ugly. I dare to approach them, but it doesn't matter. Better to be killed by them than pecked by ducks, beaten by hens, pushed about by the maiden who feeds the poultry with hunger in the winter. Then he flew to the water and swam towards the beautiful swan. When they spied the stranger, they rushed to him to meet him with outstretched wings. The poor duckling, he said, "Kill me." And he bent his head down on the surface of water and waited death. When he bent his head, what did he see in the water, in the stream, the clear stream? He saw his own reflection. He wasn't ugly anymore. He is no longer a dark gray bird, disagreeable to look at, but graceful, beautiful white swan. He was born in a duck's nest on a farmyard, of no consequence to a bird, but it was a swan's egg from which he hatched. Now he felt so glad at having suffered sorrow and trouble, because now he could enjoy so much better all the pleasure and happiness around him. For the great swan swam around the newcomer and stroked his neck with her beaks as welcome. Little children presently came into the garden, and they threw bread and cake into the water. The youngest one cried, "See, there is a new one." The rest were delighted, and they ran to their father and mother, dancing and clapping their hands, joyously shouting, "There is another swan come! Another one has arrived!" So they threw more cake and bread into the water. The new one is the most beautiful of all. He's so young and pretty. The old swans bowed their heads before him. He felt quite ashamed and hid his head under his wing. He didn't know what to do. He was so happy and not at all proud. He'd been persecuted and despised for his ugliness, and now he heard them say he was the most beautiful of all birds. Even the elder tree bent down its boughs in the water before him. The sun shone warm and bright. He rustled his feathers and curved his neck and cried out joyfully, "I'd never dreamed such happiness as this while I was an ugly duckling." So, friends and listeners, this is a lesson for us all. We all have our place in the world. We just have to find it. That is, we are out of time this evening with this program. This is Charlie Checkers saying good night. Dance like no one's watching. Sing like no one's listening. Good night.
Do you see that doggy in the shelter?
Hi, I'm Buddy, the adorable puppy you adopted from the Humane Society.
Meow. I'm Whiskers, a fluffy kitty, just waiting for someone to love me.
When you adopt a pet, we hope your new furry friend will become a cherished member of your family. And as Buddy and Whiskers will tell you, the key to success is following the rules to love by.
Woof, that's right. Please give me food, water, and exercise every day. To stay healthy, I need the same kind of things you need.
Talk to me. I like hearing your voice.
You're my best friend. Please don't stay mad at me or lock me up as punishment. Remember, I'm probably going to live 10 to 15 years, so take care of me when I get old.
One day you'll need someone to take care of you, too.
A message from the Montgomery County Humane Society. Visit www.mchumane.org for the complete rules to love by.